The San Francisco 49ers finished the 2023 NFL season by representing the NFC in the Super Bowl. Of course, they weren't quite able to finish the job against the Kansas City Chiefs in the big game, but the success of the 23 season is really nothing new for Niners fans, and I fully expect more of the same to carry over into 2024. General Manager John Lynch has done an absolutely outstanding job putting this team together, and really an even better job of keeping them together as long as he has. Of course, he has a great head coach working with him and getting the most out of the roster that he put together, but we're going to talk about all of that in today's video, and I don't want to drag the intro out too long, so let's just dive into the 2024 San Francisco 49ers. I am going to start off with the Niners offense, and typically when you think about the 49ers, you probably think of the defensive side of the ball, but I mean I think the offense is historically talented. I can't think of anybody else, any other team that has been put together, I mean within recent history, going back 10, 15, 20 years, that has had as much talent really as this team has. I mean, Deebo Samuel, Brandon Ayuk, George Kittle, Run CMC, and Christian McCaffrey. I really can't think of another offense that has had this many talented players as this version, and really the last version of the 49ers has had. I mean, two great receivers, really three great receivers George Kittle is like a half of a lineman, if not a full lineman and a receiver. So three great pass catchers. George Kittle is a great blocker. Christian McCaffrey is the best running back in the NFL right now in terms of not only running the ball, but catching the ball out of the backfield. And I mean, I really struggled to think of another offense to compare this to. So that led me to, I think they're a historically talented team. I mean, you think about going back to even the 08 Patriots when they were undefeated. 07-08. They had Randy Moss, Tom Brady. We're not really talking about the quarterback here. We're just talking about the pieces around the quarterback. But I mean, they had all these guys. You think about the teams with the Patriots teams with Gronk and Hernandez and Wes Welker, all those guys. The 2013 Eagles had LaShawn McCoy, Deshaun Jackson, Zach Ertz, and Brent Selleck were really good third and fourth pieces for that team. The 2017 Steelers had Le'Veon Bell, Antonio Brown, Juju Smith-Schuster, who was very good for them, almost had 1,000 yards. I mean, I think they're better than all of those teams. I really think this San Francisco offense is better than all of those teams. And not to mention, I mean, that's just their big four. That's just their best four players on offense. Jawan Jennings, Juszczyk, they just drafted Ricky Parasol and Isaac Guerrero. Elijah Mitchell is he's a very good backup running back to Christian McCaffrey. Gives you a lot of speed that you can bring in just off the bench like that. I mean, this offense is assembled amazing. It's a very good offense, and Brock Purdy's at the center of all. And of course, we're going to get to Brock Purdy, but I really wanted to touch on this really historically talented offense for the San Francisco 49ers that I really believe that, I mean, maybe the numbers won't follow that. Quarterback play has a lot to do with that, of course, but just these guys here, I mean, I almost think I could play quarterback, or you could play quarterback, anybody could play quarterback and get some production out of these guys. So that is absolutely something to be said about this team, and it might be the biggest part of this team. I mean, maybe you say the best part of this team. Maybe you say the defense is a little bit better than the offense, but I mean, these guys definitely have an argument, and I fully expect this San Francisco offense to be very, very good in 2024. Next, I really just want to flip to the other side of the ball and just talk about the defense, because maybe they aren't historically, I mean, they are putting up historical numbers, no doubt about it. They are a very good defense. They are maybe the perfect modern defense that you can assemble. And I just have the snap counts up from 2023. And the reason I have the 2023 snap counts up is because they retained almost all of these guys. You see Nick Bosa, Hargrave, Fred Warner, Greenlaw. I have highlighted Lenore, Ward, Isaiah Oliver, and then Ambry Thomas. Isaiah Oliver is the only person they lost out of all these guys I have highlighted. And these are guys that played, a lot of snaps, maybe over like 50% of the snaps here. Really, they're starters that I have picked out here, right? Let's jump up to the top, though. Nick Bosa and Javon Hargrave are a great pairing on the defensive line. Nick Bosa, one of the best pass rushers in the league that we have right now. Hargrave, one of the best inside presences that we have in the league right now. They both play on the same team. That's very good to have on your defensive line. Fred Warner and Dre Greenlaw are the guys in behind that defensive line. And we're not going to touch on everybody on the defense here. I really just want to highlight sort of the main players they're going to have going into the 2024 season. Fred Warner, Greenlaw, of course, Greenlaw tearing his Achilles in the Super Bowl on, I mean, a freak play, not even a freak play, a freak accident. He was running onto the field from the sideline. So a freak play, of course, we don't know how Greenlaw is going to be in 2024, when he will play in 2024. But I think when Warner and Greenlaw are on the field together, they might be the best linebacker pairing in the entire NFL. They are that good. I mean, they're just such a good pairing. Fred Warner as the heady player, sort of the brains behind the operation. Not that Greenlaw's not a heady player or a smart player, but Warner, you think of more of the conductor of the linebackers, and then Greenlaw is just sort of, I mean, he's a fire hydrant. He plays like a firecracker. He sees ball, he gets ball, and he's going to run through you, and that is just, that is the exact combo I think you want in your NFL linebackers today. One guy that can sort of, control the whole situation, call the plays, wear the green dot. And you want your weak side linebacker, your other linebacker, because we're only running two linebackers now most of the time in the NFL, with most defenses going light, running nickel defenses, running dime defenses even. And that second linebacker, I think it is absolutely great to have a guy like Dre Greenlaw. Patrick Queen is another guy sort of in that mold that can just see ball, get ball, and isn't a liability in coverage, can move, can go east to west, can do all of it. Very great linebacker pairing. Can't say enough about those two guys. And the corners and the secondary, it's not half bad either. Lenore and Ward, great outside pieces. Oliver and Thomas, we talked about those two guys, sort of, almost splitting those snaps there. And then Hufanga tore his ACL towards the end of the season, 12, 13, 14, one of those weeks last season. So, of course, another guy, just like Greenlaw, coming off of injury. We'll see when he plays, if he plays, how he plays, all of those things. And Taj Gibson is another guy that actually played a ton of snaps, almost playing 90% of the snaps last year in 2023, and he is also not going to be with the team, but they have other guys that can step in and probably play pretty well. You have Jair Brown, and Logan Ryan was a guy that stepped in as well for them last year. Maybe if you have a concern about this team, maybe it is the safeties. We'll kind of see how they play. Maybe a little bit lesser of a known quantity there. But yeah, we'll see how it goes. I still think that the rest of the pieces on this defense, maybe they won't put up historical numbers. Maybe they won't be as good as the 1985 Bears or anything like that. But I think for a modern defense, this is what you want. This is what you build. Like if you're a GM in Madden, this is what you're going to try to build. The skill sets that they have on the field really at any time, they just match up so well with what offenses are just trying to do in 2024, and that's going to be throw the ball a ton and be able to stop the run with light boxes, be able to stop the run with lighter bodies. And they do that. They can run two linebackers, they can stop the run, they can play the pass, and I just think this is how you build a modern defense. And yeah, kudos to the 49ers for doing just that. And finally, let's end this video by talking about Brock Purdy in 2024 and just what exactly I think that means for the 49ers this upcoming season. And I think what they're going to ask him to do is just more of the same. They're going to ask him to be what he was last year, and I think even a few games the year before. Play more of the same. You're going to play point guard and distribute the ball to the other guys. We just talked about all of the guys, all of the players, all of the good players that they have on offense. Just get the ball to them and let them do their thing. That's really all Purdy has to do. And I do want to talk about Brock Purdy as a quarterback because he's almost an enigma. He has put up stats. He had the best EPA in the entire NFL last year, EPA per play. He was number one. He was the best quarterback in the NFL in EPA. There is something to be said about that, absolutely. And he is just confusing. He's a very confusing player. Almost reminds me of Tua, really. Another offense that is very good, that produces points, produces yards, produces all these things. And you just can't help but think, what if this team had one of these unicorn guys? What if and we're just talking about San Francisco here, maybe not so much about the Dolphins, but what if San Francisco had one of these unicorns in Allen or Mahomes or Lamar? What if they would have taken Lamar Jackson in 2017 or 2018, whenever those guys went? What if they would have Lamar Jackson on this team? What would that look like? And I just can't help but think if they had, not even just, maybe he is. Maybe you think he is an average quarterback. But I can't help but think if they had a top 10, top 7, top 5 guy, this team would be unbelievable. They're already unbelievable. And they have And not to say Brock Purdy is bad. I mean, maybe people are probably already going off in the comment section, oh, he thinks Brock Purdy is very bad. I certainly don't think he is. I just think this is the situation where he is going to do well. He has a ton of people around him, a ton of very good football players around him that he can get the ball to, distribute the ball to, and then they can do the rest. He can just dump the ball to CMC. He can throw a screen to CMC or Ayuk or Debo or any of these guys. Kittle can just go across the middle, use his big body, and, easy throws are being able to be made in this offense. And that is not a knock on Purdy. He is absolutely doing exactly what the 49ers want. I mean, they just went to the Super Bowl. He's obviously doing what they want him to do. But just continue to do what you do in 2024. And, kind of let the haters, maybe like me, just sit there and watch. And he's going to get paid probably $50+ million whenever his time comes up if he keeps doing what he's doing. And yeah, just do that. Do that in 2024. And I do want to talk about Shanahan as well in this Brock Purdy conversation, because he certainly makes I almost called him Mike Shanahan. Kyle Shanahan makes the difficult in football simple. He makes it simple. He's going to open up throwing windows. He's going to have a great run game. Kyle Shanahan will have a great run game in 2024. I promise you that. That is such a huge part for this offense as well. And I think because of that, and because of Brock Purdy's skill set as well, between what Shanahan asked him to do and Purdy's skill set, he will be successful in 2024. And I think the Niners are going to have kind of a difficult situation, almost like I said, similar to the Tua situation right now. They're going to have that situation when Brock Purdy comes up for a contract. I think they will have that as a contract piece in 2026 when Brock Purdy comes up, if he continues to do what he's doing right now, and that is being the point guard for this team and getting the ball to their very, very, very talented players. It's always difficult to get back to the Super Bowl after being there the year prior, but I think San Francisco has a very good path to do just that. They carried over a ton of their team, like we talked about, from the 2023 Super Bowl season, and of course, that doesn't automatically mean that they're going to represent the NFC this upcoming season, but the Niners definitely are in as good of a position as really anyone else in the conference. With the top competitors being the Lions and the Eagles, I still really like San Francisco's chances. Of course, there's always going to be teams on the rise, like Atlanta this year, or Green Bay, but this team might just be different from the rest of the field. But sitting here in the middle of the offseason, I wouldn't be upset with anyone that picks the 49ers to come out of the NFC in 2024. And that's my thoughts on the 49ers for next season, and I'm really excited to watch these guys this fall, and I'm really looking forward to it. If you guys like this video, check out the rest of my team outlooks that I've uploaded so far on the channel, like and subscribe, and I hope to catch you in the next one. Thank you for watching.